All right, we are finally back with another Pick'em video. I've been out of the country. If you don't know where I've been, I was in Iceland living in a camper van with my girlfriend the past 10 days. Took a full-time break, and mostly because she's probably not going to see me for the next 8 months because I'm going to be in this room on my computer looking at plays, looking at lines, and just the best time of year to be a sports bettor and a content creator because I love talking NBA. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, NBA is my favorite. I grew up, the NBA is like my bread and butter. It comes naturally to me. And again, I've grown up watching it every single time. You can ask me anything about the NBA, and I'll probably know something about it. So, sports betting wise, got a lot of knowledge in this realm, and hopefully that translates like it did last year to a nice profitable season for us. So we're going to talk about 5 plays in today's video. We're full-time, back to grind mode. You'll expect videos from me every single day. I'm going to actually probably have an NFL video for this one as well because it's Thursday Night Football tonight. So expect more content from me consistently. And yeah, super excited to continue talking to you guys. I'm ultimately going to bring you guys 5 plays, maybe 4 if one got taken off the board over on PrizePicks. So if you're not on PrizePicks, use my code, link in the description. It's just code RichPicks when signing up. You're going to get $50 instantly just for betting $5 as a new user. And also, if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. This is the time to do so. Again, we killed it last NBA season. I love talking basketball, and we had a lot of profitable days from last year. So definitely consider that. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. Just tells YouTube to push this thing out a little bit more. And let's just jump right into the board. No more talking. Let's get into it. Okay, so jumping into the PrizePicks desktop screen here, I'm actually going to start off with doing a first half play because we're starting in the Celtics and Wizards game, and this is going to be a potential blowout game. I think it's a 13.5 point spread. I'd probably take the spread on that if you want to lean on that because of how good the Celtics looked in the first game, but obviously defending champions, chip on their shoulder just because of the disrespect for Tatum, Brown, a lot of guys got over the summer. And I'm going to go right to Tatum. Obviously, insane game. Probably the best game so far this season. Just hitting threes left and right. The hitch in his shot is completely gone. And I'm going to go to his first half, again, because he might not play much in the second half if the Celtics blow this team out. And it's going to be first half fantasy score over 24.5. Now, in the Discord, we did get this at 22.5 PRA. It's probably still 22.5 PRA, so I just want to tell you guys that. Preferably, I do like the fantasy score. I think the hit rate's a little bit better, and I like the potential against this Wizards team who's sloppy, who's, first game of the season for them. Potentially Tatum getting some blocks, getting some steals in there as well, and, limiting turnovers. So let's go into Outlier. This is a tool I'll use every single day. Get Outlier if you want to check out, be a profitable sports bettor, honestly, for the NBA season. You get a free week if you want to check it out. I'll also give you a free week of my Discord if you want to check that out as well. Just kind of a double whammy. Use my link in the description. Let them know that I sent you there so I get a little bit of credit there. But yeah, Outlier is freaking awesome. You're going to see how powerful it is in here. And you can see the hit rate, just all greens, nice interface. You can see, oh, this looks probably pretty good. 80% last 5, last 10, 70%, 80% of the last 20 games. Tatum's gone over this first half fantasy score. A lot of those games are going to be in the playoffs, so more minutes in the playoffs, especially in the first half. But just in general, I guess, as well. But also a 55% hit rate for the entire season last year. Another big thing to note, no Porzingis. His hit rate goes from last year, this year, obviously, insane first game, 39.6 in the first half against the Knicks, who's supposed to be a good defense. At least they were last year. They didn't look very good in game 1. But 55% of games going over in the first half last year without Porzingis is what I was trying to say. Jumps to a 62% hit rate. So more rebounds to be had, a little bit more, shot attempts, I guess. A few more for Tatum. He's going to get his anyway. But yeah, he looks really good. He's got a lot to prove. And the last data point I want to point to here is the head-to-head. Gone over all 3 games last year against this weak Wizards team. 25.5, 31.5. And then the game without Porzingis, how about 45 fantasy points in the first half. And again, it was absolute domination. So a lot of his damage came in that first half. So really liking Tatum in the first half. I don't know if I'd play a full game on this unless you're liking an under for anyone. But I like Tatum, momentum-wise. He looks really good. If you don't like Tatum, Jaylen Brown or Tatum are going to hit their first half lines. It's almost inevitable against a weak defense for the Wizards. Outlier actually shows all that as well, not for a fantasy score, but you can see last year's Wizards. We know how bad they are. Points allowed, rebounds allowed, assists allowed, all dead last overall pretty much. So yeah, they're a weak defense, and teams and players can do what they want against them. So Tatum, first half fantasy score, first play, might be my favorite play of the day. And then moving along to our second play, this one's in the later game, probably the best game of the night, the Thunder and the Nuggets. And I'm going to Chet Holmgren. Now, you might think, oh, tough matchup against the Nuggets, tough matchup against big Jokic. But Chet played really well against the Nuggets last year. Actually went over this line in all 4 games last year. And now he's just got an entire year under his belt. He's not a rookie anymore. Looks a little bit bigger, touched on things that he needed to touch on as he continues to acclimate to the NBA, and obviously extremely good rookie year, efficient, and just defensively and offensively. And again, he just looks to get even better. Another positive here is a couple big men for the Thunder are banged up. No Isaiah Hartenstein, who's a new acquisition. He's injured, and no Jalen Williams, not the shooting guard, the power forward center for the Thunder. So Chet should definitely see 30 to 35 minutes, barring any injury or foul trouble, but he's not usually one to get in foul trouble. So Chet Holmgren, I'm going to his 17.5 points and assists. Now your people are going to be like, oh, why are you going to his assists? I just think that he can get 2 assists if he's on the floor for 30 to 35 minutes. You could go to his points if you want to just do that. And he's also rebounded pretty well against this team. So if you want to go to his PRA or even a fantasy score, that could be something. I'd probably lean his points and assists or his points or his PRA just because the Nuggets don't get blocked, don't get stolen from a whole bunch. But yeah, Chet looking to have a really good year, potentially a most improved candidate. So that's enough about me just jabbering. Let's see some stats here. And I got his points and assist line pulled up on Outlier. 59% of games as a rookie, he went over this. And now, again, a couple injuries at the in the front court here for the Thunder. Should see him, 30 to 35 minutes. If you got 30 minutes last year over this in 70% of games, you saw 35 minutes over this in 70% of games as well. So right around that line, that's a really good sweet spot for us. In the 2 games against the Thunder, he played 30 minutes. He was over in both of these, kind of sweaty in some of those, 18 and 21. But even just with no minutes restriction or anything, he was over in all 4 of these games as a rookie going up against Jokic. So yes, tougher matchup here against Denver, but Chet has proved that he's been able to do this again as a rookie. I'm going to keep mentioning that, and I'm sure he worked on his game and looking to be, in that most improved candidacy for this season. So really liking that just in general. Also stats-wise, this is DG Fantasy. It's going to show market value. Everyone's liking this as well. They're saying, hey, PrizePicks is probably a little bit too low. Everyone's got it at 17.5, highly favored on the over, or even 18.5 on a few books here. Hot Streak and DraftKings both showing at 18.5. So really liking Chet here. A lot of things pointing in the right direction. Lastly, I'll point out is his projection on RotoWire, my favorite projection model. You can check out, again, any of these tools I'm using in the links down below. But points and assists right on top, they're expecting 20.09 on a 17.5 line. I'm really liking what I'm seeing there. So probably my top 2 plays of the day, Tatum and Chet Holmgren. That's going to start us off. Damn, yeah, I'm definitely rusty. I just realized I wasn't even showing the whole screen when I was doing the first half of this video. It was like weirdly zoomed in. I zoomed back out. Should look a little bit better for you guys so you can see my whole screen now. And also got to remember to keep my breath. Jeez, I'm like running out of breath. But let's move along to the next play here. It's going to be Kyrie Irving. Really liking this play. Not only is he going up against the Spurs, who are a pretty weak defense other than Wembanyama himself, but 9.0 rebounds and assists for Kyrie. He was able to do this pretty consistently, and now they bring in Klay Thompson, potentially a nice clutch catch and shoot guy coming off a screen or something like that. Just another good offensive player for Kyrie to get assists to. So really liking this at 9.0. I will say we did get this at 8.5 over in the Discord. Whenever I click submit on these lines, I shoot them out to the Discord, so you can typically get them before the bumps. But when you attack good lines, things shift pretty quickly. So you got to jump on these things. But again, link in the description for the Discord. Really fun community. We love talking basketball and just all different types of sports. Complain about our losses together. Absolutely celebrate our wins. It's a good time and pretty cheap, and there's plenty of ways to get in for free using my codes for certain apps and things like that. But let's go into Kyrie, 9.0 rebounds and assists. I am going to show the stats at 8.5 just because that's where it is on Outlier right now. It'll update actually, I could probably do it at 9.0, but whatever. We'll keep it at 8.5. Nice 64% hit rate for the entire year. Obviously, some of these probably coming in at 9.0 exactly, but very solid hit rate. The next thing I want to note is that he is at home. At home games, this jumps up to a 74% hit rate, crushing this line, averaging 10.54. A lot of games, he's at 13, 14, 15, 18 rebounds and assists. And not only does he assist the ball better, role players typically play a little bit better at home, but he also rebounds a whole lot better. Away teams, role players might be playing a little bit worse and missing shots. It's kind of like the idea of home versus away here. And just adds more opportunity for some rebounds here. So Kyrie able to crush this line consistently last year, and then considering the fact that they brought in Klay Thompson now, maybe even a little bit better offensive team this year, this hit rate could even go up this year. Next up, talking about the Spurs, this is the matchup we kind of talked about a second ago, but rebounds and assists allowed pretty frequent against them, 27th and 24th ranked, so whole lot of stats to be had last year. Wemby's going to be 1 year older. They bring in Chris Paul, a few changes over there in San Antonio, but probably going to still have a pretty good opportunity to get rebounds, to get assists against this kind of lackluster team in the Spurs. And we'll see how far Wemby can drag those guys in the Western Conference that's already pretty stacked. So probably a lottery team over there in San Antonio. So really liking Kyrie at 8.5. Again, did bump up to 9.0. I still like it there, push potential, but I could totally expect wouldn't be surprised to see 10, 11, 12, 13 even rebounds and assists for Kyrie in this game. Going in some market value or some projection models. The projection model I favorite, again, RotoWire, my favorite one. You can check it out using my link in the description. 9.0, they're expecting 10.29. So they're expecting kind of where I'm at as well. And in terms of market value at 9.0, not going to be as good as it was at 8.5. Everyone was favoring the 8.5 on the over, but at 9.0 push potential, it's not looking as amazing. But if you can find it at 8.5, which you might be able to, I'll just try to find it right here. This is Odds Jam. And yeah, look at that. It's at 8.5 on Underdog and on Betr. So if you're not on those apps, highly recommend checking them out. You want to be on multiple different platforms just for these reasons. Maybe you really liked a line and got pushed. Okay, is it still available on these other ones? Yeah, still available on Betr, still available on Underdog. And Betr specifically has had insane value across all sports. I don't think that's going to change at all for NBA. So we've had a lot of success on Betr. And if you want to check that out, code RichPicks for PrizePicks, Underdog, and Betr. But again, links in the description down below. It's a good way to get into my Discord for a free month. Again, if you use my code, free month. If you use 2 codes, 2 months. But yeah, check it out. Still available on Betr and Underdog. Moving along here, next play is going to be in the Sacramento-Minnesota game, and I'm going to Dante DiVincenzo. I originally went to his 2.5 rebounds. That got taken off the board, and I do like that play, but I'm actually kind of favoring his fantasy score here, kind of like the Jayson Tatum line that wasn't available when I was first looking. But Dante at 21.0 fantasy score for a guy that's going to see 30 or so minutes. Yes, he's in a new situation. Yes, his hit rate's ridiculous from last year when he was on the Knicks and he was getting a ton of minutes. But 21.0 fantasy score going up against Sacramento, that a team that he's played pretty well against in the past. I don't mind this for Dante here. So 21.0, again, not my original play, which was 2.5 rebounds. If you can still find that, I do like that. If a guy's on the floor for 30 minutes, he's probably going to accidentally get 2 or 3 rebounds. But yeah, I'm liking his fantasy score. Let's just real quick check it out. Again, you got to take this with a grain of salt because last year he gets 1 million minutes on the Knicks, and now he's probably going to be limited. Not everyone is Coach Tom Thibodeau, and they don't run their guys 40 minutes a night. But Dante, 69% hit rate last year in games that he's actually we got a game this year. He played 2 days ago, and he did go over this fantasy score with 23.1, and he didn't shoot very well at all. 3 of 11, but did get 31.6 minutes. Didn't shoot very well. I expect him to shoot, more like he did last year, and hopefully see a couple more of his threes go down, a couple more of his shots go down to increase this fantasy score. Not going to expect a whole bunch in terms of assists, in terms of rebounds, but if he adds some of those with his minutes on the floor, I like that. That's just going to be more fantasy points for us. And then the head-to-head we do have last year over in both games, 23.4 and 30.5. He did it in 29.6 minutes. That's more comparable to what I'm expecting for tonight. And then again, Tom Thibodeau, 38.6 minutes in the other game that he played. So I like Dante's hit rate. Obviously, you can see in games that he played 30 or so minutes, 96% hit rate. So that is good to see. But let's see 30 to, let's say, 35 minutes. It's more of a normal, I guess, hit rate of 83%. So really, really good hit rate. Dante should be able to get this. A lot of people, when this trade was made with Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle, some people looked over Dante DiVincenzo, and others are saying he was the most important pickup in this trade. So that's still to be seen, but Dante is a great player. Probably the leader in Sixth Man of the Year odds. Haven't checked that, but kind of just thinking about it, he probably is going to get a whole bunch of minutes off the bench for Minnesota. And yeah, really liking Dante here. And so is the projection model, 21.0. They're expecting 24.86 from Dante today. So really liking that one, kind of a pivot for me on the fly here. and wouldn't be surprised at all if Dante goes over this for us tonight against Sacramento. And I think that's going to do it for this video. We talked about 4 plays: Chet, Kyrie, Dante, and Jayson Tatum. We actually switched Jayson Tatum's first half PRA to his first half fantasy score because fantasy score wasn't up when I was originally looking at these lines. So definitely I do favor his fantasy score if you want to change that. And then also Dante DiVincenzo, 2.5 rebounds, or his 21.0 fantasy score, which again wasn't available when I was initially looking. I actually went ahead and submitted this play again with Tatum, Dante, kind of more as a placeholder, but I do like these plays a lot, even though I played them originally at these lines. Lou Dort was also going to be a video pick on the day, 12.5 points and assists, but I got him at 13.5, and I didn't even realize it went to 12.5. That's happened now a few times on PrizePicks since I've been back in the country. I don't know if they changed it or made it less, more subtle when they do adjust those lines, because I didn't catch that, which is kind of annoying. I don't really love it at 12.5. It's not great market value, and it's a low line for a guy that can, make a few shots. But Dort against Denver hasn't been great. They run people off the three-point line, and that's kind of where Dort lives. So if you want to still take it, still pretty solid. Kyrie again at 8.5. That got bumped up to 9. I still like Kyrie. I think he's going to have a great game against San Antonio. And then Chet Holmgren at 17.5. You could just go to his points. You can go to his PRA. But I think Chet, second year against Denver, a team that he played really well against all last year, I think a really good opportunity for Chet Holmgren there. So that's the kind of the 5 plays. But again, we changed them around. Tatum fantasy score in the first half. Dante fantasy score if you want to go to that as well. And a couple of these lines moved a little bit, but I still kind of like them after the bumps. So that's going to do it. I'm finally back. Super excited to talk ball with you guys all throughout the season. Again, check out the Discord. Just a bunch of normal people like me talking about sports. So we're just like-minded people kind of putting into the same community where you can talk to people all across the country. And, not everyone in my life is a huge sports fan. So it's nice to have people you can always talk to. And just a lot of fun. So check out the links in the description. Again, plenty of ways to get in there for free. One of them is to sign up for PrizePicks if you're a new user. You just got to use my code, or for Betr, or for Underdog, or for Sleeper, or for Chalkboard. They're all giving discounts all the time. You want to take advantage of those. Sometimes Underdog has discounts or profit boosts or things like that. Betr has discounts every single day. We're going to be playing over there. We don't have to play each app every single day, but we want to take advantage of the times that they have discounts and things for us to take advantage of as smart sports bettors. I got nothing else to say. Subscribe if you are new. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. And I'm sorry I was gone, but I'm back. I'm ready for the grind.